Throughout human history, amidst the massive cities we constantly build, complex laws and inexhaustible ambitions for success, we consistently neglect to hear the voice of our own souls. We have become so focused on winning over the outer world that we have forgotten the real battleground, our inner world. Rumi, calling out from centuries ago to today's modern systems, essentially calls us back to our simplest and most powerful state. The method he proposes is not a philosophy. It is a journey of returning to the essence of a human being, to sincerity. We are about to dive deep into those 5 fundamental lifestyle recommendations that will quiet the clamor of the new world and allow your soul to find its true identity. By the end of this journey, you will realize certain truths. Trust me, my friend. Let's begin. 1. Be like the night in covering flaws. Today's world has virtually turned into a world of exposure. We find others' mistakes and bring them to the forefront, displaying them on digital platforms and trying to prove our own righteousness through the wrongs of others has become a habit. Yet, Rumi advises us to be like the night in these matters. The night is a concealer. It covers the most troubled streets of a city and the houses most in need of care with its darkness. Without discrimination, it grants them a space of calm and privacy. When you cover someone's mistake, you actually give that person an opportunity to change. While exposing someone pushes them toward defensiveness and repeating their mistake, covering it with compassion opens a door of dignity for them. Being like the night is a necessity not just for others, but for discovering the treasure within your own soul. An eye that stops looking for the flaws of others begins to notice the roses in its own garden. One who reflects on their own shortcomings finds no time to see the mistakes of others. Being able to cover a wound with the silence of the night instead of piercing it further is the highest state of a human being. 2. Be like a flowing river in generosity. Many of us think of generosity only as a material transaction, yet true generosity is adding something from one's own soul. Rumi characterizes generosity as a flowing river. Why is a river generous? Because it carries life to every place it passes through, but keeps nothing for itself. It gives life to the soil, becomes water for the thirsty, fills the tree with fruit and continues on its way. It neither asks for a thank you nor wonders, will this water run out? Life is like water that begins to get polluted the moment it becomes stagnant. The mind that keeps its knowledge to itself atrophies. The heart that does not share its love with others hardens. The soul that does not divide its joy falls into distress. Being like a flowing river means staying in the flow without any expectations. Those who fear they will diminish by giving miss the true direction of life. Because generosity is not a warehouse that is depleted as you give. It is a source that multiplies as you share. Even if you don't owe someone a smile, give it. If you owe someone a word of courage, let it flow like a river. As long as you keep flowing, your source will never stagnate. 3. Be like the soil in humility. Modern humans are constantly chasing the goal of reaching the summit and staying on top. Yet the ultimate teaching of nature is that every story ends with a return to the soil. The soil is that which is stepped upon and looked down upon, yet it is the only source of life. Despite the hundreds of footprints passing over it and all the hardships endured, it is resurrected every spring and generously offers 1,001 kinds of flowers through God's grace. Humility is not seeing yourself as lowly, it is remembering where your roots are, no matter how great you become. Success sometimes carries a person so high that they become silent in that cold air and merge with the poison of arrogance. Arrogance is the greatest barrier between a person and their heart. Yet, a man who is humble like the soil is the most resilient against all kinds of storms. Just as even the tallest houses need the solid ground, the greatest successes, can only stay upright for a long time under the guidance of humility. A heart purified of pride and arrogance does not collapse against any attack, because it has already found the most peaceful place to land: humility. 4. Be like a dead person. In anger. Anger is the most troublesome hurricane that can happen to a human being. When that moment comes, the eye cannot see, the mind flies away, and every word pouring from the tongue turns into a knife. Rumi suggests the most unique way to calm this jarring energy: being like a dead person. No matter how much you shout at a dead person, no matter how much you insult them, they cannot respond to you. Their lack of noise silences even the greatest clamor. Exhibiting an angry attitude in the face of anger is like throwing wood onto a fire. Striving to remain silent even when you are right ensures that the fire of anger suddenly goes out on its own. This is not a weakness. On the contrary, it is a magnificent display of will and power. To react is to be shackled to the outside world, but to be able to remain silent is to hold the controls and lead. When the damaging heat of anger subsides, those who remain silent are always among the winners. Because bitter words spoken cannot be taken back, but silence is always a space that can be mended. A person who can calm the hurricane within with the silence of a grave is the freest man in the world. 5. Either appear as you are or be as you appear. This is perhaps Rumi's most well-known but most difficult advice to put into practice. As humanity, we are constantly setting up showcases. In social media, in professional life, in bilateral friendships, we always take on the roles or behaviors that we should be, or that others want to see us as. We wear masks. Although these masks seem to represent us, they actually detach us from our own souls. For a person to display a fake happiness while storms and hurricanes spin inside, or for love to pour from the tongue while the heart is filled with hate and grudge, is a disease that destroys the soul. Appearing as you are is the work of a great man. Being able to say, "This is who I am," with your flaws, shortcomings, and fears, is the most magnificent move one can make in this world woven with falsity. Or, being as you appear, meaning building that virtuous, loving image you show to the outside world within your inner world as well. A person who closes that invisible path between the inside and the outside will not have problems with being divided. No outside force can topple a person who has become whole. Falsity is exhausting, while sincerity relaxes you in a peaceful way. The lightness of being yourself is a gift that no thank you can ever match. Conclusion: Rumi as a way of life. When we bring these 5 pieces of advice together, a perfect human figure emerges. A person who hides secrets like the night, shares like a river, is humble like the soil, maintains tranquility like a dead person, and is honest with everyone like a mirror. For this person, the world is no longer a battlefield, but a field of maturation. Rumi tells us this: the meaning of life is not in solving the chaos outside, but in untying the knots within yourself, one by one. If you put these 5 keys in your pocket, all hearts that seem closed will swing open toward you. Systems may collapse, currencies may lose value, people may change. However, a soul armed with these unique virtues will feel fresh, peaceful, and happy at all times, beyond time and space. Sincerity is a choice, and this choice is the most important investment that can be made. Because the world ends, words disappear, but that pure essence within the human stays forever. Let's look at ourselves through Rumi's voice. My dear, it has gone with yesterday, whatever words there were belonging to yesterday. Now it is time to say new things. And these new things are actually hidden in these lessons, which are our oldest and most unchangeable truths. Which of these 5 life lessons affected you the most? Let's discuss it in the comments. If these lessons gave you a new perspective, You can subscribe to my channel and join us on this journey. I have many more geniuses to show you, and I know you will gain a lot. See you, my friend.